It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Obiajulo Olabisi Ugbo, and with me are the ladies, Alhaja Nima Akashadzaveri. Excellent morning. How are you doing today?
And the butter just flew.
No, please bring it back. What's happening?
Today is the 24th day of Ramadan.
Okay.
So we have less than 6 days to the end, possibly, might be 5 days to the end of Ramadan. I'm seriously looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm doing a partnership to give out food, cooked food, on Eid Day. So I might be praying in town. This Ramadan is very unconventional for me. It's first time I'm not family-centric during Ramadan.
So you are doing
work-centric.
And I usually do Eid with my family strictly, no matter what the work is like. But this year, I'll be doing Eid alone, away from home. So small.
Oh, you drag all of them.
Let's just say thank you to Mr. Zibiri for adjusting so quickly. So quickly.
And I'm happy you said that, because some men will not be willing to give that room for you to explore all the things you want to explore about your life. And it's important that we encourage and celebrate men who give room for you to step out.
Let me say it properly.
Celebrate you.
Let me say it properly now that you have said it like that. So Zibaba, thank you so much for for making me. I was driving around Lagos yesterday at 10 in the night, and I was wondering. Some people say, Zib will not. Are you fine? Are you almost home? That's what they call about. So thank you so much. Thank you for being so supportive.
We have to celebrate them. They are out there. Ramatu? Did I get it? How you doing? Thank you.
Well, yeah, so like she said, 24th day of Ramadan, waking up at 9 to pray because we want to get all the whole rewards for the, pray for the family and all. So it's been hectic and all.
I really didn't peg you as a Muslim. I didn't know she was a Muslim. I just felt an Hausa Christian. Oh. I was shocked when you started saying Ramadan. I said, Auntie, when did you switch?
Serious Muslim, serious one. So we're looking forward to the end of Ramadan, yes.
Well done.
And this Salah is not the one that we slaughter. All my friends, all my Christian friends. I come. This is not the one that they slaughter ram. This one is chicken. Just let us enjoy our family.
Chicken or fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell them.
How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. I am tired, but yesterday was the first day of the real estate mentorship mastery program in my office. We had a full house and the feedback was just amazing, and I feel very grateful. Even though I'm so tired, when you say you wear a color that would, so I'm wearing yellow so as to brighten or give me some energy. So I'm radiating some form of light, but honestly, I just want to, I wish I could just be in my bed throughout the next 48 hours, nothing taking me out, but we need to find balance. I keep telling myself, I'll rest next weekend, I'm telling myself now that
we need to do that coaching. I need to do that coaching for you. You need to rest. Yes. You need to rest. You work hard, we love it, but you need to still rest. Yes. So congratulations once again.
What's it with coral? Because I can
cowries.
Cowries.
I'm an African somebody.
Because I know you put it on
my house of VC is how
Mama
Lawo things and spiritual, traditional, and all of that. It's just the wigs that I wear, unfortunately. And YK does not like that, but there's nothing I can do. I have to make money and I have to eat. But we're starting our sales on Friday, which is the 5th of April. And the tops will be going as low as 4,880.
I saw that post and the thing just pinned.
No, make it no pay you go
because
buy.
We don't shop. I always like I will shop.
Yes,
the dresses or two-piece will be going as low as 9,888 naira. I'm not joking. I just want to clear out here.
I will shop now.
Yeah.
It's not that I will shop.
But that's all we're doing. So I've been getting ready. After the show, I just go straight to the office. I'm wearing the clothes. I'm shooting. We're ironing. We're just getting everything ready for the 5th. Yeah, business, Then after this, I will now take another break before I launch another one. Yeah. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the segment. When we come back, we do the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We'll be starting the newspaper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: Power. TCN NEC battling to ease lingering outages. Discos blame it all on low supply from Gencos, weak infrastructure. Binance chief others charged with money laundering. US Mayor OK CBN's forex policy economic plans. Ondo APC aspirants jostle for president's support. Dangote Adenuga Rabiu $10 on Forbes rich list. The Dangote refinery rolls out with diesel. Federal government registers 2 million Almajiri kids for basic education. What stories do we have in there?
I have the major headline.
Okay.
This is just a review of the situation all of us are aware about. So, of course, the headline reads that the TCN and NEC are battling to ease lingering outages, but taking all the collapses that has happened to the power grid, and all the 11 discos are apologizing and blaming it on low generation and weak transmission. They had, Nigerians give account of how it's affecting their business, from manufacturers to users who say that their backup has now become their main source of power, which is their generators. And the discos attributed the blackout also to vandalism, debts unsettled, programmed upgrade of electric facilities. The federal government said they are addressing the problem. The minister for power has assured that the situation will be over as the root cause of it is being tackled. He's also appealing that electricity consumer nationwide exercise patience. But NEC is saying, we will not stand for this. Any disco that is not performing will have to pay daily for it. There will be consequences, and that they are assuring Nigerians that they will do the best. The TCN, on the other part, are saying they have issues with their transmission. Of course, they said the surest way to guarantee regular supply was for the federal government to improve the weak wheeling capacity of the TCN through investment. So we know that that's the problem, because when this was talking, the minister should now focus on how we can improve the transmission of whatever is generated from the Gencos to the discos. Discos are saying low power supply to them is what they are distributing. They are managing the low thing they are distributing, getting. So we know what the problem is. The story itself is even heartbreaking too. You have to just read through your situation in the papers. But I think the minister is not addressing this part, because it's focused on the debt and sort of empower the discos to just relax and say, okay, we've not been paid.
Owing us.
Yes, they're owing us. Yeah. So, please.
Okay, so I have the story on Dangote refinery rolls out with diesel. As we all know, the last administration before General Mohammed Buhari left, he commissioned the Dangote refinery. So now the Dangote refinery, the 650,000 barrels per day capacity Dangote Petroleum Refinery has finally rolled out with the sale of automotive gas oil, otherwise known as diesel. A source who asked not to be identified said the product was sold directly to some marketers at 1,200 per litre. The pump price of diesel as at yesterday was 1,500 per litre at the filling station. But then the telephone chat, the Nation, May Gandhi said the refinery has not informed us about the price of the AGU. We are all waiting to know it, adding that the company would likely commence the sale today. That means that by today now they'll start selling the diesel out, and by today they will know the exact price that he's willing to sell it out.
To sell to the marketers, to those who are buying in bulk.
Yes, but he said he's going to sell, I think 1 million, 1 ml, 1 million liters per marketer.
Yes. Then this also said, I think about a few weeks ago, they had moved the price of diesel to 1,700 per litre. But then it dropped to 1,350 when he started supplying
his own inflow.
Yeah, we thank God for that. Which other stories do we have in there?
Yes, I want to take the story of the Senegalese. It's the picture in the Nation right there, a picture of our president and the Senegalese. Senegal's new president. The president of Senegal sworn in yesterday. His name is Bassirou Diomaye Faye. I'm sure I did not pronounce it the way they qualify, but he was in prison until just a few weeks to the election. He was arrested last year with his mentor, and when the election took place, he got 54% of the vote, as opposed to the opposition, the person he was contesting against actually was the hand-picked candidate of the current, the just past president of Senegal. He has promised to, he has a Pan-African agenda. He's the youngest African president. He's the youngest president for Senegal. He's just 44 years old. Like, this is young. And I'm excited because he has a lot of seemingly radical moves to build the Senegal economy. Break free from the chokehold of France. It's part of his campaign strategy. And beyond that, he wants to lead the change within Africa, that this is sustaining the fact that what the a lot of West African countries were trying to achieve this through coup. But Senegal was able to achieve change through elections. So it strengthens democracy within the West African region. And a lot of presidents were there. But I'm really hoping that he'll be able to deliver on all the things that he has promised, because a lot is riding on him as a young president to show up, so that other countries will start looking at, okay, we can have a young person lead and make positive change.
And it's fine, with a very good voice. I did not hear anything he was saying. I was just,
Jesus.
You are fine.
Married to two wives.
You know, I'm just admiring. I did not say anything. I have another story. The Federal High Court in Abuja has scheduled the arraignment of Binance Holdings Limited and two of its officials, Tigran Gambayan and Nadim Anjawala, for tomorrow. The firm Gambayan and Anjawala escaped from lawful custody on March 22, and they will be arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite on two separate charges. The one filed by the EFCC ordered on money laundering, and that one has 5 counts. The other one by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, that's the FIRS, has 4 counts in which they were accused of sundry tax infractions. So according to the story, they said they will be arraigned in absentia. You know that one had already escaped from a guest house the last time we talked about it. Now, in the charge by the FCC filed March 28, the defendants are accused, among others, of laundering about $35,400. Now, in count 1 of the charges, the defendants are alleged to have, between January 2023 and January 2024 in Abuja, carried out the specialized business of other financial institutions without a valid license, among other things. So they just went ahead to quote the institutions that it contravened. And I wanted to ask, if they arraign you in absentia, what does that even mean?
I have no idea.
You are tried without...
Can you be sent to jail in absentia?
Your sentence can be until
They catch you.
The trial continues to your extradited.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's move on now to the Punch. Major headline: diesel price drops as Dangote sells 1,225 to a liter, supplies petrol in May. Dealers get 1 million liters each at 1,225 naira per liter. Price drops in Oyo and Lagos, and also Ogun. Federal government Interpol in talks over Binance chief extradition. Naira sells below 1,280 to $1 at official parallel markets. Wow. Dangote, Adenuga, Abdul Samad, Otedola make Forbes list with $26 billion. Senegal president sworn in, advocates Africa's unity and security. Disconnection. UCH doctors suspend night shifts, begin strike on Tuesday. Deputy CP found dead in Oyo apartments. Police begin probe. Court finds Ogun CP, 5 others, 25 million naira for unlawful detention. What stories do we have in the Punch?
So I have the DCP story. So Deputy Commissioner of Police serving with the Force Criminal and Investigation Department in Alagbon and Lagos, Bola Oyedemi, was found dead in his home on Monday in his private residence in Ogbomoso. He had gone for the Easter break, and he had, allowed his police details to also go on a break. But he was found hanging in his house. Yes, he had killed himself, according to the report. But for the first time, the police are doing something impressive. I always say that I don't find death by hanging a suicide immediately. It can be anything. So they're investigating this one. The state is presently being covered by policemen in uniform and in Mufti, investigating how it happened. The PRO for Oyo, Adewale Osifeso, was not available to confirm immediately what this was about. But the PRO for the Force Criminal Investigation Department in Alagbon Egoje Fumilayo was available, and she confirmed that Oyedemi's death and maintained that no one can conclude how he died, and that the circumstances surrounding his death are still sketchy, but she said that investigations are presently going on and no official statement has come from the IG's office. But so she cannot give any official statement, but they're presently investigating how or why he had to hang himself. So possibly there's a mischief in it.
Somewhere.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Wow. We'll take a breather here. When we come back, the newspaper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still reviewing The Punch. Who else has a story? Ramatu?
Okay, so we're talking about the naira sells below the dollar, the market. We've all known that the dollar has been an issue for a while with the naira distance. So, but now the naira began the new month on a bullish note, appreciating to 1,278.58 against the United States dollar from 1,309.39 per dollar recorded last week Thursday. This indicates an increase of 30.81 at the close of trading activity. So major key reforms include the unification of exchange rate windows, liberalization of the forex market, clearance of forex backlog obligations for banks and airlines, implementation of a price verification system, imposition of limits on banks, net open position, removal of the daily cap of 2 billion on remunerable standing deposit facility, and overhaul of the bureau de change segment. So the dollar has been gaining, the naira has been
gaining its strength back.
Its strength back and all, and possibly things will start coming down more and more.
People will have to sell out what they have
if I bought something
now.
For 1,600,
I will sell first now.
It
doesn't work.
Don't crash our business. We couldn't. But you have a story.
Yes, I have a story. This one is my constituency. The court has fined the Ogun State's Commissioner CP and 5 others 25 million naira for unlawful detention in a civil matter. And the reason the court did this was that the judge warned police officers that their job does not include civil transaction disputes, contracts, or land disputes. This particular man, Sunday Mafe, was detained on December 2nd to 5th, 2016. Later detained 16th to 20th, 2016. Later detained 23rd. That means he missed Christmas with his family to 29, 2016, based on a petition written by a lawyer, Yomi Nuberu, for Chiefs Sakiruddin Olufowobi on a land dispute. So a land dispute happens. One person feels like he's very powerful and I have connection and calls police officers, and another person is detained back to back just based on petition. I am extremely happy that the High Court in Ogun State, I want to get the name of the Justice E.O. Oshinuga on Monday, February 5th of 2024, has decided to penalize. Those was penalizing. 25 million naira is huge. For both the commissioner, they listed every other person involved, the team leader, that's the area, the former area commander, Ijebu-Ode, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Funsho Ajao, the Commissioner of Police of Ijebu-Ode. This, for me, I see this a lot, where you are having a dispute, a minor dispute over land. I was saying it one time that somebody brought a detachment of police from Ogun State to fight over a land in Lagos State just because they have connections. So we need to take cases to court. I'm so happy that Sunday Mafe took this case to court. And we need more people to take cases of where you feel you have been unjustly detained to court, and we're able to create precedents and
get
prevent
justice.
this happening in future.
Yeah. All right, let's move on now to the Daily Sun. Major headline, reign of terror in Benue, Plateau, Katsina, others. 3 dead, 5 missing as bandits abduct 18 children fetching firewood. Police rescue 28 kidnapped girls, youths raise buildings. Otedola Adenuga Rabiu among Forbes' world richest billionaires. Tinubu attends Faye's inauguration as Senegalese president. JAMB uncovers 1,665 fake A-level results. How we rescued Navy rating, NYSC member, 7 other travelers kidnapped in Delta, JTF. IPOB raises the alarm over looming famine in Nigeria. Army headquarters confirm explosion in Ikeja cantonment. Police deputy commissioner found dead in Ogbomosho. Obi flays use of 10 trillion to service unproductive debt. Says 97.3 trillion debt worrisome, dangerous to the economy. Outrage trails Israel's killing of aid workers in Gaza. So I have the major headline. A government suspected to be armed herdsmen attacked the Adija community in Apa local government area of Benue State on Easter Sunday and killed innocent villagers. Someone who didn't want to be mentioned said that talked about the victimization, and he told them Daily Sun that about 5 persons were killed in the attack. And also speaking to newsmen in Makurdi, the chairman APA Development Association, Barrister Eche Akpoko, also confirmed the attack. And he said it's true, he can confirm it authoritatively, and 3 bodies have been found so far. That this is more like a routine attack that's been happening in the state. They attack communities, youths are missing, as he was narrating what really happened, and they were only able to have recovered 3 bodies, 2 are yet to be found. That they don't know those who were actually killed or if they were just missing, and that the attack is disheartening. That armed men come here every time to kill people and go without any form of challenge. And it's alarming that the government isn't doing so much to stop it. And he went ahead to advise the residents of the area to try as much as possible to protect themselves, that these people come in almost on a daily basis. They kill the men, they rape the women, they harass the children, they kidnap them, and all of that. Somehow they have to find a way to begin to defend themselves while they wait for the government to do something about it. What other stories do we have in Daily Sun? Okay, go ahead.
Sure, Cassius. So according to the registrar of JAM, Dr. Isaac Oloyede, Professor Isaac Oloyede, my apologies, he said that if they discovered 1,665 fake advanced level results during this direct entry registration process that is ongoing. And he was saying this to the National Association of Nigerian Colleges of Education students in his office when they visited. So he said that fake results of about 397 were from colleges of education, 453 from the university diplomas, and the rest from other A-level certificates around. He said the JAMB as an institution has taken measures to safeguard the integrity of the certificates that people are bringing to JAMB for DE. But the institutions now should also ensure that the certificates candidates are presenting from their schools are also verified. He said he made a particular mention of the Bayero University. He said they had about 148 direct entry applicants from that school. Only 6 have genuine out of all the DE results that they brought in. So he says that JAMB is putting together a task force for A-level verification, and that the platform
people are boycotting JAMB, so JAMB is still going to go and ensure that they. He
said so. There's a new policy of no admission, no verification, no admission.
Exactly.
I think that's
better. Yeah.
Well, let me quickly take the story of. So the Nigerian army had to quickly do a press release to assuage the fears because of the history. There was an explosion on Monday at the Ikeja cantonment, and because of that explosion, there was a bit of pandemonium. It happened close to the Mame market, but they said it didn't happen it happened on a farmland within the cantonment. It was a result of burning bush that led to an explosion. Because this just very recently... It wasn't armory. Very recently, it was certified that there was no explosives. They just certified that they don't have explosives that could be dangerous. So having this happen just after the certificate was issued, the army had to officially come out to say there's nothing to worry about. It was just burning bush that led to a very minor explosion. There was no casualty. Nobody was injured in any way. It was just the bush and the noise. So people should calm down. There's nothing to worry about. And this is because we also have a history of what happened in the cantonment a few years back. So,
Thank you, lady. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topic. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. The Ogun State Police Command has urged ladies to be cautious of the dangers associated with hookup with strangers. According to them, avoid being a victim of ritual killing, hookup, and its dangers. You may go and never return. Girls, wake up. Young girls, do you know who you're being hooked up to? That person may exchange your beautiful head for peanuts. All that glitters is not gold. What are your thoughts on this? So we saw that, warning, more like a warning to young girls out there. And I think this, it's high time this warning comes. And I believe that we all need to be talking about this. Because I've seen like a trend where, because of the things people now desire, the materialistic way of life, everybody wants to own certain things. Nobody wants to work hard anymore. Nobody wants to wait their turn to get those things. And you hear girls saying, I cannot stress. So there was a video sometime that went viral where a girl was saying that I'd rather marry a Yahoo boy than marry somebody who has a decent job. After all, I will be able to buy this, that, and that. And it's become like a trend, especially with our young people, where they don't care as long as I make the money. The end justifies the means, as long as I'm able to get that cash from that person. And so they jump into cars, they hook up, they get connections just to hang out with people they don't know based off of what they will be getting. And now this advice is coming that, be careful before you go in and then you don't come out with your head. What are your thoughts on this? Who's ready to go?
Okay, so this is a mother's advice to a child. And we'll force our police to have to do this, maybe because they're seeing how many people walk or in their metro news, the kind of matters they handle. They're seeing that, young girls just want to have things, young boys just want to quickly have it. Nobody wants to work hard and wait. There's no need to persevere, just arrive. And so they are now parenting the populace. This sort of advice is the advice your elders give to you. And now elders are saying, you don't see your mates. So they are forced to now parent society. It's sad. It's a very sad world that we have gotten here. I didn't expect the police to make this their business fully like this, but we have gotten here.
And they have to speak up.
They have to, because parents no longer speak up. Elders no longer talk to young ones. People, this is the business of your grandmother, your mother, the people
your
around
aunties.
you. Your aunties who are seeing you in the hurry to arrive, who are supposed to be telling you, take it easy. You get there, do the right thing. Take your time, learn your trade, build your business. Little by little, you get there. Patience. But they're the ones now pressuring you. You call a young girl in school and ask her, your mommy has not eaten since morning. What do you want the girl to do? Rather, we have switched roles, and so the police have to now take up parenting roles.
Hey, Ramatu?
Yeah, so this hookup thing, I think is very common. It's not really common in the north. We marry early. That's just one thing. And, we are always betrothed. Like, we already have somebody that we want to marry. My place, we marry our cousins and all. So I would say we deal more with early marriage. Like the girls, you see a girl getting married at the age of 12, 13. She does her first period at home. The next period is expected that she's going to do it in her husband's house.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, no matter how young she is. So we are dealing with that, first of all. I know of, I have a friend that, I was in SS2 then, There's this elderly man that used to stay with us then. He had a daughter. And the girl was, she had just finished primary school education. And then there's this guy that wanted to get married to her. He has 3 wives. She was going to go and be the 4th wife.
Oh.
He married her. And then when he married her, she was, every time she always goes out to go and play with her, because she's a child. She goes out to go and play, all this, and all with her friends. He came and he was complaining to the dad that, what kind of girl is that she doesn't sit down at home to, make meals and all of that. She's always outside playing and all. And one day I had to tell him that you married a child, so you should expect those kind of things. And all, So what now happened was that she got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, of course, her pelvic was very narrow. Oh. So when she tried giving birth, she had this popular thing that happens, VVF. Yes. She started leaking and all of that. All of a sudden, he now started complaining. He said that she's smelling. She smells and all. So he's not interested. He doesn't want the marriage again, and all. And that's how he let her go. Wow. And she left. With that, she gave birth to the child, but of course she was leaking everything. That's a child taking care of another child. Mm-hmm. So you see, hookup is not even the major destination.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So we already have, other issues.
That's an even more serious issue.
But for hookup, I think it's lack of contentment. I think girls should try and be contented with what they have, and all. And then we should not look down on.
In this world, is it easy? It was easier in our time.
Was it easy?
It was easier in our time.
Yes, so it's interesting to hear another perspective. It's interesting to hear that the problem, each malam with the kettle. Different colors, different size. Right here in the Southwest, we do have a major challenge with hookup. I can even extend it towards the South. We've seen the problem of where lady, there was a video from Port Harcourt where the boy was with a wheelbarrow with butchered parts of his girlfriend. Hi. And both of them are students. So both of you are students, but the boy is big. The boy does
influencing.
The boy has his skits. He does skits. That's the official one. But he was trying to use her for money rituals. Wow. He has his way of making money. He has a front for it, but then he has his way of making money. His girlfriend, both of them are students. He butchered the girlfriend. So what we're seeing now is a level of, you must become paranoid as a girl. Every young girl must become paranoid. If a man says, come to my house, auntie, just carry, you will carry 2 babes and send the address up front to your family and friends, and let the man know that whenever I go out, I send the address of where I'm going to my family and friends. My phone has contacts tracing. So if wherever I am, people know where I am. Once I'm with my phone, there are little things. Technology can help us with that. And you too, use common sense. You don't know somebody before. They tell you to come and meet them at 9 p.m. somewhere because the person wants to buy you latest iPhone or latest Samsung. You want to be holding folds when your life is not straight. I don't even understand what my mentor says. He says you want to wear bone straight when your life is not straight. And because of that, you end up getting into a case where your life is in danger. We have lost too many young girls due to hookup. What should have been a normal relationship has now turned into money rituals, ritual killings, body parts being harvested, organ harvesting taking place. Yeah. And when they are doing organ harvest, I don't know, somehow it is women's organ that is more akachi for them to harvest. Whichever way, women should become wise. Whether you are young or not, become wise. Never ever go and meet a man you don't know or a man you don't trust enough without having other people know where you are going to. Everybody must know that I'm going somewhere.
Yeah. But let's take this call. I think we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Obi Kennedy from Jalingo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great topic you are discussing today.
Thank you.
We've come a long way into this country as long as we are alive. But this hookup of a thing it's evil. And let me be very, very specific. There's no shortcut to getting rich. A whole lot of this evil is happening within the system of I know you and you know me. Some even go to the extent of you don't know somebody will just call you and give you somebody's number and address. You've never seen him. You don't know if it's a gorilla or a lion or a cheetah. You just go there just to make money. There is no shortcut to richness. And this thing is not only happening to the young ladies, to the elder ones, it happens. We just have to be very, very careful and be very prayerful, especially to the younger generations. What are we teaching the younger ones to come? It's just prayers, and we have to be very sincere to ourselves. What is happening in this country or in this world is different. It's only God that will save us. Thank you, and you have a very great topic today. God bless you all.
So much, sir. Yeah, so I'm just afraid because, like Nima rightly said from the beginning, when the children are not expected to raise the adults who are supposed to know better. You know, back in the day, and somebody will ask me, how old are you? Again, they're already asking me, every day you say, back in the day, in our time, how old are you? But it was back in the day. Looking at what is happening right now, yes, it seems like it was another generation entirely. But we knew that parents took up their role, which was to preserve their children's innocence for as long as they could. And that meant that when you come home with anything they did not buy for you, they will ask you where you got it from. You know, you know better than to bring any top home or any gin home that your parents did not buy for you. But the reverse is the case. And even at that time, in our time, there were some homes that the reverse was the case because those parents were not on ground to provide the basics for their children. So they allow their children do the work for them and cater to them because of poverty and lack of morals, as far as I'm concerned. Because even if you don't have much to give to your children, you should give them at least, strive to give them the basics. If you need to carry the bonbon, carry it. If you need to sell in the market, sell. You don't sit at home and say, hey, we are poor, we are poor. You go outside and hustle. So you give birth to these children, you expect them to hustle. How dare you challenge them when they come with cars and you know that they are not working? You won't challenge them because they are already doing the job that you are supposed to do as their parents. And so we must go back to the root cause of, you know, some of these things and how society has enabled people who have certain amount of things without proper questioning. We accept it. We jubilate with them. We embrace it. We shame other people. They shame you on social media when you dress a certain way. Yeah. They shame you on social media that you're wearing rubber on your hair. You cannot even afford human hair. It's rubber you're wearing. They shame you. That's the society we find ourselves. So how can we be content? How can these young girls be content in a society that is not content and doesn't care?
Sadly, we're very materialistic now. But then, even then, it used to be that, you know, a man will want to get you, and the first thing he will try to do is, you know, use material things to get you. You too, you might most likely fall for it, maybe because you have a check at home who is asking you, what does he do for a living? You don't ask her. They chop money. You know, because of those checks. Chokwe was saying, don't go to somebody you don't know. Even the one you know now is a risk.
I'm telling you.
Even the one you know that you grew up with, the one you eat with, you should be careful about. The most important thing is that we should raise our children to have their own goals. And it should not be dependent on the money that somebody would give to them. It should be dependent on within the means. I remember I used to get 1,000 naira a week back then in the university. Inside is my transport, inside is my feed. But I was a big girl because how much is the food you want to eat? A bottle of soft drink then maybe was less than 100 naira. I would just buy one snack. And big girl status don't celebrate because I would not ask any other person for food. And that 1,000, I did my job from there. Yes, I did that job from there and continued to finance my businesses back then in school. My parents needed to see traces, so traces must be proven. My job card was at home, so they will see it. When I pack it, I will say, okay, it's now money don't come to join. You know, you just needed to show traces. And if you're parenting a child now, it's not abnormal when a relative asks the child, where did you get this? It's not abnormal. They should ask. And if you are not responsible for it and you don't know where it's from, you should be ashamed. It's not busybody for your neighbor to ask your girl, where are you going? Or why are you coming late? I once accosted a young girl who had a party at a hotel, her 21st birthday. And the mom was like, what is my business? What is wrong with you? I was like, what's wrong with your father's house? Why didn't you just tweet it? No, it's I need fine background for pictures. I said, where did you get money for the party?
So it wasn't the parents that were funding.
I was digging too much. They were all offended. So I learned to shut up my mouth.
Wow.
And they put the pictures they brought the pictures, printed, and put it in the house.
Chineke.
It was impossible in my mother's house.
Let's take this call. Samuel from Jos. Good morning, Samuel.
Hello, good morning. Like you just produced. You see, what you see in the society today starts from family level. There's no society without a family. I've always advocated that you bring your children in the mosque. Say a prayer, say a word of advice. Like a Christian I am, you feed them with the word of God. You feed them with a word of morality. You feed them with what they should know and what they shouldn't know. You should feed them with what they do and what they shouldn't do. With that, as they go out into this wider society, they will say, this is what my father, this is what my mother has told me not to do. This is what the word of God, which is the most important book in the world. So we shouldn't just allow our children, like I observed 3 weeks ago, I saw my daughter with, I think, a bag or so. I asked her, how come? She now told me it is her friend, and they come together with his friend at home. So if you buy your child a biro, it is true that they use biro in their classes. When they call, if it is not color you bought for them, ask them, but I bought you blue color. How come you are coming home with your red color? They should explain. And when they explain, to verify, go further to verify that actually this is the source of what they have gone home with. Don't just allow them. They come home with all sorts of gadgets. You don't ask questions. How do you think they will not graduate into doing a greater than the worst things? So let me conclude by saying, parents, please, it becomes on us all to make sure that our children go in the fear of God. Thank you and thank you again.
Thank you so much, Samuel.
They are not even. It's not even just through hookup and all. Okay, did you hear of that story? That particular story of a girl that just went to do makeup for somebody, and then the brother, carried her, and the brother wanted to make money with her, brutalized her, and then buried her at the back of the house. It was the mother that was calling, trying to find out where she was, but fortunately, the girl told the mom before leaving the house that I am going to so person's house. That's her very good friend. It's a very good friend's brother that did that to her. And also, at the end of the day, we need to know, why do girls indulge in these things? Some of them is not just material stuff. They're not after material. Some is just the adventure, just for fun, the fun of it and all. So we need to know their friends, the kind of friends
that they keep,
and they move around with.
Yeah. So there's an age that...
Let's pause on the conversation. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're still having this conversation, and the warning that was given to young girls who would rather hook up for the material things that they want, to be very careful, or else they may lose their heads as well. We're ready to go. So,
what Ramatu said brings me to parenting. Immediately she was talking, I just about that parenting, like everything we've said, parenting and the environment around how we're raising our children. Because as we're discussing this discussion now, there's some people that it doesn't even cross their mind to think about this thing. They are not in the category, hook up not even near their mind. Why? Their environment, their parents, the upbringing they have has already dealt with these issues. They will not fall into these traps because of their upbringing. As a society, we need to take up parenting more. And the parenting is not because, one person, like what Nima said, that, she kept quiet, but at least she spoke up, which is important. You might speak up and they did not agree. In your conscience, you will know you spoke up. Who knows? Maybe that speaking up you spoke up would prevent her from doing something else in future. She will remember what Auntie Nima said, even though her mom did not take it. We must stop this idea of thinking, it's not my business, and no be my pikin. It's not, you see somebody working. I've said this before. I had my first boyfriend. lives not so close to our area. Like I really went really far, but still within a word of a mile too. Is my mommy's friend that called my mom. I told my mom that Tokpe is in
a man's house.
Is in a man's house. And when my mom came, the way my mom, like she knows there's a neighbor. She said, but you live here. It's impossible for you not to have seen my daughter come here. You're not a good friend. You're not a good friend because the person that gave me this information lives like few blocks away. But you live opposite and you've seen her and you did not. How many children do I have? You will now be watching my... So that communal raising is so important. There are things you will see. I cannot see. My son is, but that's why I would like my son to visit my friend's place because my son will do something at home I did not notice. My friend will say, what your son is doing is bad, though. And you will pull the boy's ear and you will correct him. That way, all of us are co-raising the children together. They are getting from Auntie Nima, getting from Auntie BC, getting from, at the end of the day, they grow up more equipped to deal with the challenges life will bring at them. Because the children we're raising nowadays, they are so gaming, play focused that we are not equipping them for the vicious world they are going to enter into. And the world is vicious. People will talk. I was 16 when a 36-year-old man was toasting me. When I said, you are over twice my age. He said, no, what's there? 16. I couldn't just rationalize it. When I told my mom was like, I am going to go to his office. Like, how many children do I have? You know that you want to corrupt my only daughter. You know, but we need to understand that our children are facing those kind of people that will tempt them. You might not be able to afford the latest phone. You got them one small palasa. Their eye is entering the big phone, which is normal. And somebody tells them that if you meet me in this place I'm taking you to, this party, everybody is living with the latest iPhone. And they will gather them in a bus and go to the place. You have to. It is what you put inside that child that will help the child to survive when the danger comes up. And how you prepare the child from inside to know what to do, how to relate. What Amato said, please tell him. I said it earlier, tell everybody. Somebody must know where you are. Yeah. At no point will you feel you're sneaking, that nobody will know how to catch or where you are. Your mommy will be able to call your dad. Your dad can call, your friends can call. You are in school, but you have found your way in Abuja. Your school is in Lagos. You have found your way somewhere else and nobody knows how you got to Abuja.
It was God that saved us. Let's not be talking like which knew. From school, I would go to Port Harcourt to go and do beauty pageant. Nobody. In fact, my father would see me in the newspaper. I think it's the social media. See me in the newspaper in the morning. I'm like, is BC not supposed to be in school? Let me take this call. I'll come back to that. We have a call on the line. Ijoma from the UK. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I would like to contribute to this question. What's going on right now is really scary, and it just mirrors what the society is embracing, sort of, at the moment. And it's interesting that Ogun State is coming out with this sort of advice. Because recently I was watching a documentary and it did say that Ogun State is almost ranking one of the highest states with high crime rates. And it's good that they are coming up with this advice because now students are, now ladies or young girls are being victimized. They are at risk of things happening to them. So it's very important that we start thinking, what are the solutions? What can we do to protect these ladies? You know, what can the government do? What, as individuals, what can we do? Then I like the fact that you guys have touched on parenting, you've touched on, again, I think it has to do with people trying to belong to a certain class, you know, which is not necessary. Be content with whatever you have, you know. Train them.
Oh, sorry, we lost Ijoma, but she was making some really valid points. So I was giving a story saying that God just saved us at the time because there's no way you can stop young people from exploring, right? But if you give them the foundation and you give them the basics, somehow, like the scripture says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when they grow, they will never depart from it. Yes, no. I was going for work, for what I believed in was my life at the time and what I wanted to use my natural talents to do. But the fact that I would leave without telling my parents was because my parents did not allow me to do that. You're supposed to be in school. Why are you modeling? So I used my agidi to travel. I would be in Abuja, I'll be in Port Harcourt, I'll be in Benin. In fact, I toured almost all the states in Jos. We met when we were going to Jos and all of that. I toured almost all the states for what I believed was what I really wanted to do, right? But the point I'm trying to raise here is I still didn't tell my parents. They didn't know my whereabouts, though some of my friends who know in school that were going for this competition and that competition. And somehow God saved us, right? And we have young people out there who want to explore. How do you stop them from exploring?
So let's not deviate from what we're addressing.
That's not exploring.
We're addressing the hookup.
No, I know that one is a different issue.
And the materialistic end of it.
Thank you.
So you just wanted to push a career. Maybe you didn't get the support at home. I went for admission seeking by myself to Ilorin for the first time. I traveled on my own for the first time. And my parents were, I had no address to arrive at in Ilorin. I dragged my bag and got to Ilorin. I asked for the mosque. I slept. I did not know Amatan in Ilorin is different from Amatan in Lagos. I almost died. I went on my own. I told my parents I need this admission. I want to do combined honors. I'm going there. They have it in Ilorin. Fortunately, when I go, Koki come back. They decided it in last, so I took the option. So we did certain things, but it was towards your dream, not towards any end.
Yes.
I didn't get there and say, okay, where's the person that toasted me in the bus? So I was already married when I was at the airport. On my way to law school, I had extra luggage. Law school, we used to carry our load. And I saw somebody that was traveling with just a suit bag. I said, okay, please, it's your luggage. So that the measurement will... And the guy accepted. Yeah. My husband was standing somewhere there and waved bye-bye. We landed Abuja, he gave me phone number. He came to law school to find me. So if that's your training, I mean, Abuja now, maybe my husband is here. Everybody will sort out themselves. But that's not your goal. So let's address this culture of let's do hookup. But Stokwe touched something really close to me because Miriam mentioned it. That we've lost the help that we had from communal raising. As parents, we've lost that help because we don't know it all. It takes that busybody Auntie Leoko to let some mothers know that this waka, this pikin, they waka.
They see
because yes, you see this thing. Recently, I met one woman. Not recently, about 4 years ago, I met one woman on my drive home, and she called. I wanted to buy a bottle of water. She said, "How is your mom?" She looked at me in the eye and said, "How is your mom?" Then she called my mom a particular name, and you just knew she was in my past. So I took the water and said, "Your own name," because she told me. I just parked by the corner. I called my mom that some person said I should greet you. He said, is that woman that saved me? That time that you were following this boy up and down, I used to go to their house. She used to tell me all the waka. I went back. I knelt down, I greeted her and said, thank you. And I went. Because I didn't waka anyhow, but my mom had monitoring spirit.
Yes, she knew where you were at every point.
Because the way they will give you the gist at home, when you come back, say, hey, wait till you go find for Jerry that time. So I went to buy something, say, lie. They saw you making calls. So you needed those communal help. You don't know it all as a
How
parent.
do we get back there? But let's
call
take this call. Pastor Cyril from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Pastor Cyril. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning, sir.
All right. First of all, let me appreciate you for this wonderful topic today. It's a very significant one, more especially in the times that we are. I have been listening and following up, and I just want to add my voice to what one of the hosts said there about, having time. That is just God that saves us, or save, them during their secondary school or university days where you just need to explore. You leave the school and you go to do some modeling in Port Harcourt or Abuja and the rest of that. Yes, that's very fundamental. What I want to say is freedom is governed by law. We must teach our children to exercise their freedom and their liberty, but true freedom is governed by law. The burden of responsibility is to be free. And that freedom comes by ensuring that they understand what it takes to be free. Let me put it in a proper perspective. Let's take, for instance, we have laws governing traffic in Nigeria. If you drive against traffic, you'll be arrested. And that means that you have contravened the law, you've gone against the law. But as long as you keep the law, you are free. And once we don't teach them what is right and wrong and allow them to make their choices in exercising their freedom, we will also be caging their potential, their ability, and the true sense in finding themselves or discovering themselves. So freedom helps every one of us to understand the journey to self-discovery, but it must be governed by law. So the most important thing I want to nail here is that parents should teach the law of freedom to their wards and their children. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that. Governed by law.
Parents.
Yeah, parents should teach.
It's always mothers, even the fathers too, have to
Thank
come on
you.
board and also try and talk to their kids as well. And I think this hookup thing it's a business. There are some women that it's just their business. They bring in girls from the villages, they bring them in for hookups and all. They just keep them.
So those ones, they call them prostitution now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand the difference now. Yeah, because
Hookup
then, there's a certain area where you have them.
There's prostitution.
Okay.
There's ronsge.
Okay.
Then there's hookup.
There's hookup. So hookup, they say, is a softer way of prostitution.
Yes.
But we know it's prostitution. So it's your friend.
Nima.
I'm suspecting you.
On the street.
We are in the street. Forget it. There's no language they are using that
I
cannot.
don't know.
I'm telling you. I grew up in Ibadan State. If you use any language street to disguise any rubbish, I will catch you.
So the hookup is where they get you.
So
It was on this show I learned what hookup.
I was telling Tokwe that
Hookup
day.
is not when those.
So is
they
your
connect
friend
you.
asking you
Yes.
to join her on a gig.
Yes.
But at
they
the end of
arrange
that
the boy.
gig is a sexual act that you should not disclose
there's
to
money.
you. But, there's
Who do
money.
they now pay?
So you can actually go out with the person and they don't have sex, they give you money. But you know that if the sex
If
was
they request
required
for it, yeah.
and use of substances was required, you will do it.
So that's hookup. Hookup is
So she now gets a percentage.
All of you get money.
So I have these
Hey.
friends, so they always
It's
we
prostitution
just hang out
disguised.
with them for in this party, and they will sort us. So you are going to hook up. You are following the person that has the connect to hook up.
Because it's Ron's girl, I know. And then the
Yeah.
old
You see the Rose girl,
tradition of
she chests
Odoso.
it with
By
her chest.
herself.
She has her client's base and
Call
says,
her.
I'm going for runs. I'm going for runs. She's not going for any legitimate runs work. She's going for runs. But the prostitute is the one that I like on the express.
Ikeja.
They go there cash.
The center of Ikeja.
When
The
they
one that I'm saying that a woman recruits girls, takes girls from
That's
Madam.
That is
That's
the madam.
madam.
That's the madam of prostitution.
Yes.
No.
She can be ringleader for the runs.
They call is madam.
She'll be connecting them to better clients.
Yes, that's prostitution. What the police is addressing
Now
is hookup. It is where you hear of a financial gain and you go to a place you have no leverage, no idea. You are walking innocently without you don't even know where. In most cases, hookup, you don't know where you are going to. It is the friend that knows where you are going to that is taking you there because there is hope of
Or
profit.
the pimp.
It's like you come back home and you are in most of the time it's students that this happens to. Your friend just unlocks a new phone or brings out a new bag. You be like, where did you go? I went to a place last week. They have another one next week. Follow me. I will take you there. That's how the person just goes.
Hey, I remember.
So yes, so I those things happened. I was in Yabate, Kakata. They will come outside. They will go. Me,
Uncover you.
Yes, I did not do follow. I know they do follow.
It's dangerous. So.
My work. I was a model. I was modeling. I was going for auditions, and that was even as a makeup artist. There was a time that I was caught in a situation, and I was just praying to God that God, I am working hard for my money. I did not come here. I did not come here for nonsense. This is not what I'm here for. And God always shows up. So when you say it is God, BC, God knows in our hearts that we did not go
God
there.
God protected us.
Yes. God secured us from situations where anything could have happened in those situations as well. So it's important that people differentiate and are aware. Don't do follow because of benefits. Those benefits, somebody is giving you these things. I'm begging.
What will you do with
think? Why is the person Father Christmas? Is the person Father Christmas?
Why you know?
Is the person running a charity organization and the charity is to give you money and phone and as in like some is just when I went there they just gave us $1,000. They just gave us $500.
Just like that.
Just like that.
I heard all those
You
gifts,
should
though.
be extremely careful when people are offering you monetary and gifts financial gifts in exchange for nothing on the face value.
Yeah.
Something else is going to
I like where we're going,
Thank
but
you,
let's
Papa.
take a short break now. When we come back, we'll talk about how we can train our young people to ward off some of these pressures when it comes, because that's how some of us survived. We saw all these things. We saw people collecting $1,000, $500.
and
We
we're
saw
feeling
people,
like,
in fact, we saw people that they bought cars for, you know, but somehow we were not interested. Yeah, how do we raise our young people in that direction? Let's go on this break now. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. This matter is tying wrapper as we are proceeding. I have a message here sent by a friend. It says, "Sisto, Omona hook up the rain these days." And the saddest thing is that the girls that do this are between 19 and 25 years old. Then plenty for my estate. 20 of them will rent an apartment and stay. Now from there, then they go for their hookup waka. It's so sad. This is now becoming like a trend. You know, when we talked about Yahoo boys and the fact that some of them will now rent, they pack themselves into an apartment, maybe find a place on the island, and then they are learning work from each other. We now have news that girls too will gather, 10 of them, 20, rent an apartment, and from there they are going for,
So
it's more serious than we are thinking.
Let me take this message so I can address
Whoa.
it. Mr. Peppu says, don't be emotional. Youths are doing things as adults. And these youth that are doing these things are adults, and they don't need permission from parents or anyone. Allow adults to be adults, yes. We have reached there. We have left the innocent teenagers who have their friends tricking them into the bad things. We are talking about full adults who think it's okay, it's a side way to just get side change, to quickly amass your latest phones and amass your things. Girls who are above 18 and they don't actually need parents' permission. So they are taking the decision. So it's taking us out of the parenting. But I'm saying, just as one caller said, the quality of individual that your parents have raised as a young girl is what you need. So when I left secondary school, I had this group of
Before
friends.
this, your story, because I want to hear it in full, let's take Salisu from Jos. Good morning, Salisu.
Hello, good morning, Professor Obiajelu.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, interesting topic, and I always follow your program.
Thank you,
the
sir.
word of confession is that your program is very addictive. I don't go out until after 11, after finishing your program.
Thank
so
you,
this
sir.
particular topic in hand, like I living in the corner, just to be precise, the problem I see it more as an elitist problem, because the moment some of us decide now to involve our family members into the upkeep of our children, the lesser the problem. In the north, like I am personally having a regret. I built my house, move out of the family compound. And my children are having a sort of what I feel more sense of freedom being separated from the family house. If assuming I'm in the family house, any problem that is beyond my reach, my brothers will not just, I don't need to invite them, they will jump in. The moment they hear any of my child misbehaving to me, it's an automatic ticket to come and correct that particular issue. So now you see a situation whereby parents will even have to go to school and challenge teachers because of the discipline of their children. So the moment you do that, unlike the Yoruba style, whereby if somebody disciplines your child, you go and appreciate him. You'll have the mind to do it again. But the moment you build that defense that your child is only you, you are the all in all, nobody will bear word of, and that is why this is a cumulative of building of this kind of problem that will lead to this kind of rubbish, the hookup that we are hearing. It's happening in other places, but it's less pronounced in the north. Because the system we run in the north is that a child is not solely your responsibility, it's the collective responsibility of the society. A neighbor song in particular. Hello?
Can hear you. Go ahead.
A change at hand. In my community now, I have a neighbor's son that is always so much fun of playing football. And I'm particular about that particular boy because he is the first child of the father. I make it a duty whereby if I see him that in his excessive pastime of football, I always caution him, warn him that I will go through his books and see his performance. Why? Because that child, if that child turned out to be good, it's not for the father alone, it's even for me. So the moment we get ourselves involved in the collective upkeep of our students, the better.
Thank you, Salisu. Thank you so much. Yes, you were telling us.
So I was sharing the story of how friends would usually, try to poach you into this business. I had 2 friends who would just come, see your face, see your skin, see your lips.
As you fine.
As you fine. You go like go party. So I was like, what's the party? What's the cash? She said, if you just go, just one party that you go, you can get a bill of 50,000. Carry the matter. I thought about it for 2 weeks before I could even talk to my mom about it. My mind was, go to the party, because my parents would never approve. So go to the party, find a lie. I thought of all the lies in the book. But because of the kind of upbringing I had, I did not, none of the lie gel. And then it will be that period that my father would choose a verse of the Quran that he will use as talim in the morning. And it will worry your conscience forever. So the individual you raise is also important. And then when you give your child, my first word of English that I mastered was contentment. When they give me that by 1,000 that time, so be contented. The child of unicorn, learn to be contented. I will be there managing that. It's important the kind of person you grow. So that when that child reaches that 18, that they think they're an adult without and can live their life without your permission, it is not their dependence on you that will make them do right. Yeah. It is the quality that you have put in them that will make them do right.
Yeah. Okay, so we are not even talking about the men. Because it's the men that create this market.
They are the customers.
They are the customers. They are the ones patronizing these girls. If they don't patronize these girls,
they won't have markets.
So now, the upbringing, most times, the pressure is always on the woman.
Mothers.
You are the one that will bring up this child. You want to talk. You are the one to do this. Men, too, they have to come on board. Let's look for solutions to this whole thing. Communal upbringing. I think everything should resume back. Yeah. Because the way we are doing our own parenting these days, I don't think, because of this social media, phone, and all of that.
True, online uncles.
Just in a hurry to
online aunties.
So all these things, yes. So all these things are these are all problems that.
I like where you went to, and I'll touch on it when we get back. But let's take this call from Chief Kalu, calling from Ikeja. Good morning, Chief Kalu. Good morning.
Good morning. The hookup we're talking about is a trading now, and is a commerce now. And by special grace of God, as I'm telling you, it can't stop. In the sense, 419 cannot stop, and it cannot stop. In the sense of Yahoo have moved to Yahoo Plus, cannot stop. It will not stop. The advice I want to advise every family, train your child the way he will live and represent you in future. And also package your family where he will not bring a shame into your life. By special grace of God, you will see the good of the children moving forward. But I want to advise some people here. If a mother are very, very interested about materially things, you will be a victim. You can't tell the children of 19 years having a phone of 2 million. You see your son coming back with the S-class at the age of 24 years. I know those days you can see a trader and you know that he serves somebody as a trader and he makes so much. They say to him, or even if they not say to him, there's a business he can do inside a big market and make so much money. And now you see your children at the age of 24.
Wasted like that. As a trader, you won't even buy that Benz. You will still be managing yourself, living below your means. Yeah, but I wanted to give a story. When we were in the university, there was this company in Warri. I won't mention the name of the company. Every weekend, they will come with their buses. They will pick these girls. These girls go as ushers. They say they are going for ushering job, right? And they have this there were like 2 girls in different hostels who would organize the girls that would go for this adventure. And then when they come back, they're coming back with things. Come back. I'm just, I was just telling you now that they never conscripted me for this ostrich
Your
job.
spirit did not just agree.
Because I needed money at the time, but nobody, I just know that we see the cars in the hostels in the evenings when they're dropping them Sunday nights like this. People are coming down with different things. But they never conscripted me. They never spoke to me about it. And it didn't interest me. I wasn't longing to. I just saw them and we knew that that was happening. And nobody ever called out the men. That's where I'm going to. The men are the ones who request for these special girls. They are the ones who pay this money. They are married men who have their own wives at home. They are the ones who pay these young girls. Adventure, fresh blood things.
The type of things they cannot do
at home.
House.
The monkey in the shadow hanging that they cannot hang at home. They are looking for it. And nobody's calling them out. Now, if we want to solve this problem, what do we do about the men that's providing the market?
So, the hookup is an avenue that... and has become a tool that Yahoo Plus people, which is ritualists, use to achieve their goal. Wow. So, hookup in itself, you can say that caller said, oh, you can't, this person is an adult, a 25-year-old. There are things that I wanted to do at 21 that if I had done it, I would regret it. There are things I wanted to do at 23 that I was feeling like I was,
old enough.
No, I am an adult. At this point in my life, I can, how I wish they did not let me do my adult thing and forced me to do what I wanted to do because I wanted to buy property. I had money for property at when I was 23. And my parents were like, I said, no, I'm not buying. I will buy later if I had bought. So there are some things that we release our children too fast. Like, oh, you're already an adult. Now, let's talk about the fact that the hookup itself can be an adult decision. But ritual killings have now followed hookup, which is why the police is crying out. That it is not, their ritual killings now are not being done on innocent bystander that was just dragged in or kidnapped. People walk into the place
their death
and walk into their death. So that's why the police is saying that hookup has now become a tool. Before, people used to flag, they just do your hand like this, car will stop and carry you. Until they started using, you enter the car, they will wipe a kerchief, and the driver will fit. Now, if you do your hand like this, I will stroll past, I will drive past. Why? We realize that what could have been an innocent flagging down a car to hitch a ride has now been used by other people. It's the seemingly not so right thing has now become even more demonized. So if hookup has now become ritual killing in many places, then you should avoid hookup.
Yeah, so let's take our final caller as we wrap up the show. We have Ibrahim from Gombe. Let me let you go.
Okay, so let's talk about solutions. Let's look at how ways that we can curb this menace to our society. Let's help our girls. So first of all, I think let's stop shaming what they do. Maybe like, okay, so some of them want to learn how to, a trade or something. Those days, our parents fried akara on the road, and they were not. You gladly go and buy the akara. It was from the money of the akara that they used to send some of them to school and all.
So they should be dignity in labor.
Yes. So let's learn a trade at least, and be making money. Make money by the side and have money to feed your temptations and all. That's number one. Number two, please, parents, all of us mothers, let's all come together. Let's start raising. Let's all of us come together with all our ideas and everything and start
raise our children together.
Girls, yes. Let's start raising these girls. Let's not sit down and say, see this one, no. The mother did not bring her up well. Oh, this, that. It's not competition. It's not a competition.
I like that.
If your child is good, the child will be good to another person. Like, for example, now I'm bringing up my child. My child goes to school. He's meeting another child.
Yeah, so
they can,
they can influence even your child that you brought up well.
So let's all come together and see how we can, get solutions to all these things. Please, let's listen more to our girls. If they are, if they complain about something, they come to us. They want this, they want that. Let's try as parents. Let's try to get those things for them. Not everything.
Give them the basics,
let's
basically.
Just make sure that they have those things that
basics. Yeah. Then I also learned something from what two of you said earlier about community raising, which is sometimes because we are the parents to the children, we have blind spots. We don't see some of their flaws because, you know, it's all, when you look at your child, it's all love that you see. And Enima can just look at the child and point out, I've noticed this about the child. How do we take it? We need to start listening. We need to understand that she's not pointing it out because she doesn't like me or she doesn't like the child. She wants the child to be better. I can also point out something I noticed with her child. Let's find a way to love ourselves as one, and then we can all contribute to the growth. So if you see any child who's doing something bad, you can call out. And you self, that you are the parent receiving the call out, should understand that it's not from a malicious place. It's just because we want this child to be better. And, you know, by the grace of God, we'll see how that goes. Then one thing I wanted to add before I run off quickly is there was a guest we had on the show some time back, and she was saying that we glamorize success so much that everybody has an idea of how to look when you're successful. We don't show the grit. We don't show the endurance. We don't show the perseverance. We don't show the long suffering that we go through to get to where we are. We need to start telling those stories. We need to start showing that it's actually hard work. I've not slept well in days because I want to achieve this, and that. And let people just have a holistic view of what it takes to be successful. And by the grace of God,
the rest is
our scorecard will come soon as the children grow. Yeah. All right, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move on to our Let's Talk. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. One of Nigeria's most underutilized sectors is the informal sector. And joining us on the show this morning is a social commentator and public affairs analyst. He will be discussing how we can harness the informal sector for our nation's economic development, wealth creation for many of its populace, jobs and other employment opportunities and benefits, how to create wealth, and how to start and maintain a formidable business. Welcome with us, Mr. Victor Kalu.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good morning,
Good morning.
sir. It seemed like you wanted to jump into the other conversation we're having.
Well, it's connected actually to the informal sector.
Okay, let's hear you.
Because majority of Nigerians work in the informal sector. I started my career in the FMCG sector, and when I joined this company, I wanted to be posted. FMCG is fast-moving consumer goods. I was selling relaxer. I wanted to be posted to the town to sell, but I was sent to trade fair. When I got to trade fair, I saw
Business 101.
I saw young Igbo boys that were selling products, they were selling articles, and they were in serious money, not small money. And most of these guys are not even fully what they call documented enterprises, but they were doing billions. They were importing, they were selling, they were distributing to not only Nigeria, to West Africa. And they were making a lot of money. Most of those guys are less than 25 years of age, most of those Igbo guys. So, sorry to not align with you, someone that is 25 years of age can actually make billions of naira in this country. Because the informal sector is a huge opportunity. Everybody talks about it, but are we really harnessing it in the country?
Yeah, what does the informal sector cover?
So the informal sector is that sector of the economy, it's productive sector that is not registered with CAC, that is not regulated by any agency of government, and you know that their business is not really structured as well. Their business is not structured. Maybe they don't have. Some of them, for instance, I talked about trade fair. They have a shop in the market, but they are not well. You know, the major denominator is that they are not registered with CAC and they are not properly regulated.
Okay.
So the interesting part about the informal sector is, I've been wondering when the conversation is around how Nigeria can harness the informal sector, because the informal sector is thriving on its own. Is it do we really need to harness it? Can we not just let them be doing their own? Because by the time government took hand inside something, the next thing, they now say they want to start taxing, this is the amount of money here, let us enter it, and we might end up having it being unraveled right in front of us. What could be an advice? It's not just better we just leave it as it is.
So that's a good question, but I'll give you certain numbers. Nigeria's budgets, Nigeria's GDP, 10% of Nigeria's GDP comes from the formal sector.
Oh.
Yes. So even the employment, if you notice, when this government came into office, they readjusted our unemployment numbers to say that more Nigerians are employed than people usually say, because 80% of Nigeria's employment is generated from the informal sector. Okay, and also Nigeria's budget as it is today, only about 10% of it comes from internally generated revenue from taxes. So the GDP, 37 trillion naira of GDP generated by the informal sector does not get into government revenue to fund development in the country. So the government goes about looking for money to borrow to fund its budget, whereas it's generating 37 untaxed revenue from the informal sector. So if you say the informal sector should be left alone, how will the country develop when the federal government is not generating any form of revenue from the informal sector? They are thriving. And also, the informal sector actually does not know its potential. So I'm going to tell you this. So my company has business with the informal sector. There is this woman, I'll tell you a case in point. This woman sells bole, and she has 6 children. Her husband abandons her and runs away because of economic challenge. So she was really crying, and she was suicidal. So when one of our staff met her, she said, I said, bole, I don't have anything, I want to die. The woman said, but you have something, you're selling bole. She said, what is bole? To cut a long story short, they got her to start saving 2,000 naira from her bole. Daily. Within 3 months, this woman had over 300,000 naira saved. She moved from selling bole on the road. She bought more equipment, rented a small shop, and she's moving. The person, mechanics are in the informal sector.
Okay.
A mechanic can repair 3-4 vehicles in a day.
Yeah.
And he makes 10,000 naira each, and that's 40,000 naira multiplied by 30 days. That's over 1 million. But a typical mechanic will have a wife in the hospital, give birth. He cannot afford to pay for the hospital bills. But if you check the wealth that they are generating, it is enormous. So should they be left alone for not being able to harness their wealth? Then the major point also is the value addition from the government and from the society to the informal sector. People that work in normal office environment, you realize that even as a broadcaster, maybe after 2-3 years, you go for training to upgrade your skill. You want to do better. You want to be better in broadcasting. You want to do better. But people in the informal sector, there is no formal training to upgrade their skills. Things as little as laying of tiles, Nigerians are importing experts to do that.
Do that now. Yeah.
Because the person doing the tile
Papa Jimo
will stay forever. No skill upgrade, no form of training. He is just continuing that way.
So that's their
so the informal sector should actually be, it's actually the backbone of the Nigerian economy. I've talked about the potential. 63% of Nigeria's budget is borrowed. Yet only 10% of our GDP is taxed. Wow. 80% of our revenue comes from the informal sector. So if we can just let the informal sector contribute to the development of this country, we will not have to borrow.
From outside.
Yes. But the informal sector, I'll delve into that if you permit me, or maybe I should leave it, maybe I'm going to ask the question.
We have more questions.
We have more questions.
Yeah, so the informal sector is like an elephant that is in a room that has all this big potential. You ask yourself, why is government only able to tax 10%? Banks, and CBN has talked about financial inclusion. How many people from the informal sector has been onboarded? I came from the telecom sector. I was divisional manager for Globalcom. I was different positions. And one of the key challenges we face is how do we even register a SIM card to the woman on the street in the market? I was reading an article this morning. A guy launched a pension for the informal sector. The business crashed. I'm going to tell you how even all these people can harness the informal sector. He could not penetrate the informal sector because there is one missing link. Even President Tinubu, when he came in, he launched VAT collection. I was in a hotel. One of my friends who's a lawyer was consulting for them. So when the hotel where they were having this meeting, to collect VAT, because he has a vision to increase internally generated revenue through tax, through VAT, they called the informal sector, the Association of Market Women, to collect VAT. Oh, yeah, collect the VAT now. There is something that is missing. I'm going to share that thing that is missing.
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to
that. So who's ready to go?
Okay, so thank you. You're the guest for today.
Honestly.
Because our earlier topic was, about, better options at getting money that gives dignity. And I like that you brought it, because I live near the trade fair. I see these people are now big boys.
Imagine most of them not taxed.
Yes, most of them are not taxed.
Wealthy, yeah.
But in Lagos State, I don't know about other states. Lagos State has been able to do what they call the Artisan Association. So I remember the Tailors Association, they do their meetings in my old office, my old law firm building.
Yeah, they do.
So they do that, and they have a way they're taxed. But I think the local government and the state government continuously have this clash. But each of them are made to pay through the artisan group that they belong. So tailor groups, they gather and go. Yeah. And when any benefit is coming to them, they come to them as a body. So the Egbe non-finishing, the Yoruba thing called the Egbe Association, and they do it like that. But now that you're talking how to get it, I think they have the grounds already. They can go from there. I would like you to talk about, you see these boys that we are talking about, when government issue comes up, how Nigerians should take ownership. We will not start the conversation. That's where I hear the conversation most about what government has not done for me. But the trade fair is a complex government has created where you make money. Some people don't need shop. They go there. You want to buy something, I get them.
Yes.
You don't get them. You don't go inside, go collect them. Shop. And they do these businesses. But they don't agree. There's a sentiment of the mindset towards taxing that an average Nigerian has. When it's time to pay something, they're
government has not done anything for me.
Yeah, so I want you to address that and how the mindset can
change. My company also collects tax for a state government. I don't want to mention the states, but we collect taxes for them, and I get asked this question in the field. And my question, I'll address the reason why the informal sector should rush to be a part of the paying tax, okay? My question to you, first of all, is this. You have a shop. Someone drives from his house to your shop to buy product from you. You did not build that road. Government builds it. Without the road, you will not sell your business. Secondly, you sell, after you are done with selling, you make 100,000 naira. You're able to carry that money to the bank or to your house without someone coming to point a gun in your face and collect it from you. It's government that provides opportunity for people not to do that. But I will then address the very critical reason why it's important that everybody pays tax. There is a widespread syndrome now, people that is called jackpot. So people say, I'm jackpot. And when they jackpot to the Americas and the Europe, they are doing better. They are doing better. Let's leave. They are doing better. Why are they doing better? So what are you going to do in the country you're jackpotting? Two things. If you're not going to do drugs and all that, you're going to either get a job or you're going to start a business. So why is the same business you're doing in Nigeria succeeding better there? Because I've gone to business school. What you're taught in business school is that the factors that lead to the success of your business, 90% of it is external factor. The small business that are crying now that the currency has gone up, why not go and perform your magic in your business? Why are you crying? The inflation has gone up, you are crying. but you feel that the success of your business depends on your strength as an entrepreneur. It is not so. The external environment contributes 90% of your business success. And what will help you as a business owner to have this external environment, the electricity, the good road, the microeconomic conditions to be better for you as an informal sector trader or business owner, is the ability for government to fund this critical infrastructure. Nigeria's budget today is about 37 trillion naira. South Africa's, I use in dollars, so because I use dollar per dollar. Nigeria's budget is about $20.4 billion. South Africa is $125 billion. Now, out of this Nigeria's $20 billion, only 9.8 billion comes from revenue. All of the other ones are borrowed. South Africa, the revenue from the government to fund that $125 billion, $120 billion comes from revenue from the government. If you want to buy train, how much does train cost? Some states' internal generated revenue is 50 billion naira. How much does a train cost? So the government needs money to be able to fund what we want. And the good thing is that we have the resources, the informal sector, to give us revenue. As I said earlier when I started, most of the informal sector does not even know how much money they generate. Yeah. Most of our GDP, does not account for a lot of the money coming from the informal sector, because most of those money don't even make it to the bank. They are hidden under the bed and all that. So,
fire bond shop, you're hearing 40 million, 400 billion a bond shop.
So as okay, so now I'll go to the reason why you, as an informal sector person, needs to run.
I'd like her to get a question in because we're wrapping up. Are you ready?
Okay, no, I wanted to ask him to list the informal sectors, but as he was talking, he was really mentioning them.
Some of them.
Yeah, so...
This hookup we talked about before you joined the show, is it part of the informal sector? Do you think they should be taxed? No, this is a question.
Well, I believe hookup, for what I understand, is illegal in Nigeria. It's illegal. So anything that is illegal...
How is it illegal?
Prostitution is illegal.
Selling your body. It's illegal. The police can arrest you and you can actually go to jail. Not only that, solicitation is illegal. If you stand in your car and you're soliciting for XCS, you will.
That's why they pick up those girls.
Yes,
they don't pick the boys that are soliciting.
No, you can actually, because boys can say anything, you can actually be also picked up. So it's illegal in Nigeria. Okay. So, but I want to talk about what holds on. I say it's an elephant. That if all this would have failed in the informal sector, why are we not succeeding in the informal sector?
Yes, you said you were going to hold something. Yes. Please release it before you show
it. So that thing is, I was divisional manager for data for Glo. What we are missing is data of the informal sector. For instance, if a bank wants to register...
Do we have enough data for the formal sector?
Yes, those ones don't have.
We have pretty much enough data. For instance, if you want to open an account for an informal sector person, you need BVN, you need NIN. 90% of them don't have it. Even the one we do, you need phone number. To register someone in the market, he or she does not have phone. You cannot collect taxes without this. You cannot open an account for them. You cannot enroll them in a pension without NIN, without BVN. So what we are trying to do is ensure that everybody in the informal sector has access to this data, and also they have access to technology. So I want to also say that I want to talk about the problems of this informal sector briefly. The informal sector gets credit at a very high cost, and that's why they are not doing well. Higher cost than the formal sector. A big boy that's running a big business will go to the bank and get a loan at, say, 20% interest per annum.
That's still a lot.
Yes, but the guy that is selling food on the road, the informal sector will go to a microfinance bank or to people that say, collect
3% per month. No,
you're getting at a good price at then. Per annum is more than 60% interest per annum. 60%. How?
And they'll pay.
Yes. How can the informal sector person thrive this way? Access to cheap credits helps big businesses grow. access to very expensive credit is suffocating the informal sector.
Yeah.
I talked about training, I talked about data. We want to create an ability for everybody in the informal sector to have access to the right connection to consume all this service, for government to even be able to get revenue for them through data, NIN, BVN, for everybody in the informal sector, and also the education and the skill upgrade. I believe that the government can set up a unit, a commission for the informal sector economy that will be focused on their empowerment, access to cheap credit, that will focus on the data. If 160 million Nigerians in the informal sector have access to BVN and NIN, the banking sector will experience the
I thought everybody already has NIN now because they made it compulsory for you to get your phone.
I was when NIMSI started. I was part of the head of the committee in the entire ecosystem to drive NIN. I don't know the figure, but as at last year, it was still hovering around 50-something%, even less.
Oh.
NIN. People are.
Let me just ask you this question because farmers are fall under informal sector. They got loan and they did not pay back the loan, anchor borrower, or the financial intervention that they provided for agric sector.
So it depends on how those loans. I don't know the details of those loans because I know that part of these loans are given to in associations, in groups. Okay, so that they have a peer-to-peer monitoring. And so I don't know the details. People from the informal sector, default on loans. So I may not be able to comment on that particular case.
Exactly what happened.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We've been speaking with a data analyst, Victor Carlo, who has broken down the informal sector and how the government can wade in and harness. Yes, we need to have like a full day with you so you really break it down and how we also in the informal sector can take advantage of what the government has to offer as well and scale up. It's very painful that some of the trades we knew growing up, where this one is papa mechanic or carpenter or furniture maker, they die and then none of their children takes up the business and we're importing people to do that business. Imagine if they had scaled up, lands upgraded, and extended the business. We have businesses that run for hundreds of years in Nigeria. We don't have that.
Elsewhere, yes, we have.
Yeah,
Yes,
we have
yes.
outside.
Yes.
But that's all we can take on this show today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye now.